Hi guys, hope you're keeping well. So some of you will have received your macrame kits. If not, you'll be getting them today. And then hopefully we'll find out soon if we can deliver any more. But in this kit today you should have some instructions, 10 of these cords and 1 of these copper rings. The cords are all about 2.5 meters, give or take. And then this is a 10-inch ring. If you're doing this again, you can use different sizes and different cords or yarn if you've got them at home. So what you're going to first do is get each of your cords, fold them in half like this, pull down so you've got the loop, and then you're going to do a lark's head. Now we did this just before Christmas, so I'm hoping you'll at least remember how to do the lark's head, which you're just going to tuck behind and then pull those 2 cords through. Now you can see on mine, I just take the ends here, and that's just to help them pray. If you haven't got any masking tape or any tape, don't worry, it'll be fine. It just makes your life a little bit easier. So you can see I've done that with all 10 of mine, so now you have 20 strands to work with. So you're going to start doing some square knots, which we also did before Christmas, but a lot of people struggled with the square knots. So I'm just going to go over them twice to show you where you could go wrong and what you need to do. So a square knot uses 4 cords, so we'll just tuck them up there. And you've got 2 central cords and 2 outer cords. The central cords don't move and you don't knot with them at all. The outer cords work around the inner ones and knot onto. So you're just going to go in 2 parts, the first part and the second part. In the first part you go behind 2 and over 1, and then take this cord over 2, making sure not to pull that too tight because you're going to knot through this gap later and through that gap. And then just sort of shimmy it up so it's nice in line. Then for your second part you're going to do the opposite. So you'll go over 2, behind 1, again leaving a little loop, and this one will go behind 2 and through. And just pull to tighten. So you see you're left with a bar and a little loop, and that's what you want to look for your square knot. Where a lot of people go wrong is they don't reverse part 1 and part 2, they do them the same way, and what you're left with is kind of an S shape. So you've gone behind 2 over 1, and then instead of going over 2 they go behind again and over. And instead of that bar and loop, you're left with this kind of S type shape. And if you go wrong, it doesn't matter, you can just undo the bottom part and make sure to do it the opposite way. But they're fairly easy to untangle even if you go wrong all the way along. So I'll do that one more time. Take 4 cords, loop these up behind. So your central cords are there. I'm going to go behind and over, leaving this loop. Then I'm going to take this cord, go over and through. And then just shimmy that up again. Then I'm going to reverse, so I'm going to go over 2 this time, under 1, and then I'll take that behind and through. And if you want to, you can just loosen these knots a bit, pull down the middle and tighten, and that will just bring them up into line. Now you're going to want to do this all the way along in a row, trying to bring them up into a line. So you'll do one here, one there and one there, and then we'll move on to this next row. So next we want to do a second row of square knots. And with each row you take off 2 and then 2 again and 2 again. So you'll do 2 this way for the next row, where we ignore 2 threads. and we start doing a square knot with 2 from this one and 2 from this one. Again, central cords, outer cords, over under 2 over 1. Pull up to the nice place, leaving a bit of a gap, and then just repeat. And do them all the way along, and then for the next row take off 2 more after you've done it and start again and keep doing that descending. So I'm just going to carry on with these. So you can see I've finished my rows of square knots, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and each time I've taken off 2 more threads until I've created this triangle pattern. So next we're going to do a double half hitch border along each side. So to start, you take your furthest right or left, doesn't matter which one you start with, cord, and sort of pull it across like that, because you're going to work on a diagonal. Then you take your next cord and you're just going to take the end of that cord and loop it through that hole and pull it tight. Then you're going to repeat that by taking that cord behind and putting the end back through and pulling it tight. So one of those is a half hitch, and repeating it is just called a double half hitch. And you're going to do that with each cord. So this cord is done, so you can put it to the side if you want, and then just repeat that all the way along. So just go through that gap there and pull it tight, make a little loop behind and pull it through again. And you're going to do that all the way along to this point here, and then you're going to repeat it on that side. So once you've got your 2 borders down the side, you'll use the 2 middle threads, which are actually the ones that started here and went diagonal, and you just want to tie them together. You can do a special knot, or you can try and play around with it if you want, but I'm just going to do a simple knot there. Now what we're going to do is repeat this process onto the bar, using the bar as our diagonal. So you want to take all your threads and put them behind like that, and then what you're going to do is just wrap one over, pull it tight, and then making that loop again, poke it round through there and pull it tight, and just sort of play around until it's in the right position. Now you can start stacking them this way, or you can keep them straight, or you can put them in, it's up to you. But with each one you just want to go over, make a little loop behind and poke through. And do that for all of them. So once you've finished all of your half hitches on the bottom row, you can think about adding in extras if you want. I've added in 3 instead of just 2, just to space it out a bit more. You could do more, and I would say it is easier to start from the middle and work out on each side than to start on the edge, or do them loosely and then tighten them up. Then you can decide about how you want your tails. You can start fringing them, where you just separate out all of the little strands. If you've got any dye at home or ink, you could dip dye them, you could put beads on them, and you can trim them to a shape. It's quite nice to do to a point, or you can just leave them loose and random. So just send me any questions if you're not sure about anything, and hopefully we can see all your creations shared through the WhatsApp groups.